From the happiest place in the Lone Star State, welcome back to the Talking Mickey Project. TMP is your home for Disney fans of all abilities. Now, it's your host, Emma.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, everybody.
How are we doing today?
How's everybody doing? I think that's what she said. Put a comment in the chat, guys.
Yes, please.
This is going to be a fun night tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. Who are we?
Oh, I'm your host, Emma, and this is my co-host, Dad, and then Kevin, and then my dad.
I'm her dad. So thank you for being here again tonight.
I mean, welcome back to the town, guys.
Thank you definitely for coming back. Tonight is the end of what month?
October was back tomorrow.
Well, Haunted
Mansion month.
Haunted Mansion month on Talking Mickey Project.
That means no more poetry.
Well, until next time.
Yeah.
So we've had a month of special shows that you've done.
Yeah.
All about Haunted Mansion and Haunted Mansion-like rides and attractions that Disney's done.
Yeah.
And tonight is the culmination, the crescendo, the...
Crescendo?
Yeah, crescendo builds up. Boom, 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 boom. Like big old thing. The whatever you call it. Spectacular. Last show of Haunted Mansion month on Talking Mickey Project. And who is your guest?
My second guest tonight is Mr. Jeff Baham.
Jeff Baham.
He is the official founder of DoomBuggies.com.
He's the founder of DoomBuggies.com.
And he recently got married.
That's right. Congratulations, Jeff.
Congratulations, Mr. Jeff.
And thank you so much for being on Emma's show.
Yeah.
This interview that's coming up, y'all are going to want to sit through and enjoy. And you may even have some questions that you can pass along. I don't know if he's going to be in because, like I said, he recently got married.
Yeah.
But if he is in the chat, say hello, please.
Yeah.
But he also did something other than this website. What else did he do?
He wrote a Haunted Mansion book, which is called The Unofficial.
The Unauthorized.
The Unauthorized Story of Walt Disney's Haunted Mansion.
And it says the foreword is by who? An Imagineer, famous Imagineer.
Oh, Roy Crump.
That's right. And what's the other part say? The introduction, is by Floyd Norman. So that is pretty cool. And this is the updated for the 50th anniversary of the Haunted Mansion in 2019. So that is also pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh, well. So before that, you want to talk about what?
Who's coming?
Yeah. So what's coming up this week, you mean?
Oh, we have put up some welcome comments.
Oh, that's right. We got a bunch of comments in there. Let's look at and say hi first.
Gone.
That's right. We said hello to Michael. Good to see you again, Michael. Thank you for being here. Emma, it is a spooktacular interview. Michael says, I'm not mortal. I'm a Time Lord. Uh-oh. Doctor Who reference.
Yeah.
And let's see. Emma's mom says, smash the like button, share with friends and family, tag a friend on Facebook. Yes. Hey, Megan.
Hey, Megan.
Thank you for being here.
Oh, Miss Rudy. Now I remember you. I see your picture on Facebook.
The picture helps, huh?
Yeah.
Looks
Thank
like
you for coming back. I really miss seeing y'all.
I'm growing.
I'm doing okay.
I hope I'm getting taller and not wider. That would be nice.
Grooving.
Yeah, he says next month is turkey and stuffing month.
Go to get quick, okay, Michael.
And Miss Iris is here.
Look, hey, Miss Iris. Go get the cow crackers. Come on later.
All right. Well, I think now we probably need to talk
Enjoy
about
your pizza.
who's coming up this week.
Yeah.
So you want to tell everybody? Or you
Okay,
go-
guys. This Wednesday is my interview with Mr. Omar Yupi.
Uncle Yubi. That's right.
Yupi. From the World Village in Orlando, Florida.
That's right. It's an organization a lot of people know.
Yeah.
They help families that have children with medical conditions go to the attractions in Orlando in Florida.
They are also partnered with the next interview for next Saturday, which is Give Kids the World. Central and South Texas. There's a lot of making waves out taking care in the world, guys.
That's right. So Wednesday night was Give Kids the World.
With Phil Skinner.
And that was Omar El Kayubi. And Saturday night, this coming week, next Saturday night, right here, same time, same bat station, is Make-A-Wish, Central and South Texas, Jill Skinner. So those are 2 interviews starting out in November that you're going to want to see, because not only have they great stories in them, really, but also you get to know and understand a little bit more about these 2 nonprofits that do so much good for families of children with special needs and medical conditions, right? That's really awesome. All righty. Well, we are about to get started.
I think God is gone.
Julia Locus. Hey, y'all. This is Julia. Jeff's
Oh,
like,
I'm sorry.
Cool. Yeah, listening.
I got you confused with Don. I'm sorry.
Well, it's good. Thank you for being here, and congratulations.
Yeah.
They're both listening while he drives home from the Walt Disney Family Museum.
Oh, the one that's in Chicago, right?
No, this one is the one in San Francisco.
Oh, that one.
Yeah, the big one.
That's what I said Chicago.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's the one we're going to be talking. Shh.
Oh.
We'll be talking.
Secret.
Talking to somebody soon.
Wait.
But yes, thank you, Julia.
Yeah.
And thank you, Jeff.
And tell Mr. that I said hello.
That's right. Well, I think he might have actually heard you. All right. So before we do that, last thing before we cut to the interview, because we're getting to it right away.
Yeah.
We'll talk a little bit about your supporters. You want me to do that?
Oh, then.
I saw. She's on also.
Hey, Daddy. Hey, Craig. Hey, Uncle Kevin.
Emma's nanny is on as well. All right. So you want to talk about this?
Yeah. Okay, our collectors is Miss Bridget Laker, for the trip is our official Disney planner, so you can plan your next Disney trip. Go on and start your Disney ticket with Bridget today.
That's right. You can reach Bridget at bridget.langford@storybooktrips.com, or you can find her on Facebook or Instagram at Travel with a Langford.
Yeah.
So check them out. She's the one who does all of our trip planning, and she is awesome.
Yeah.
And then also your mom.
My mom has a podcast called Beyond Disabilities Texas, which you can find the first ever video for it on YouTube. It can help with those families with special needs, kids and adults with to find their identity resources to help them.
So basically what it is to help highlight resources in Texas, mostly around San Antonio where we live, but we try to reach out, right? Mom does, to highlight resources for families with special needs children and adults. There's some great interviews. They're on iTunes or Apple Podcasts now. I'm old. Google Podcasts, and that the first video episode about Fiesta Especial is on the YouTube channel at Beyond Disability Texas.
Yeah. So make sure to subscribe and want to see more.
All righty. One more quick.
Don.
I see that. Oh,
hey, Sean.
Sean is on, and like you said,
see you really soon.
That's right. Looking forward to seeing you, Sean. And then Jonathan, share the video to support Talking Mickey Project.
Thank you, Jonathan. I'm really in the point that we couldn't meet y'all Saturday due to the rescheduling of the tape thing.
Yeah.
So thank you for helping out.
But we'll
I
definitely
really
connect
appreciate
at
it.
some point, right? We'll
Yeah.
definitely do that. All righty. Well, guys, what's next?
It's time to start the interview, guys.
Interview time.
Yeah.
So, ready?
Yeah.
One. How do we do this? 1, 2, 3. Bippity boppity.
Because my welcome, Mr. Gun. Welcome to my show.
I am so happy to be here today.
Well, thank you very much. We have been fans for a long time. Never knew the face behind it because we've always looked at the website. So it's good to see you, and we appreciate being able to talk to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
All righty. Well, you ready? We have 15 questions. We'll put them all up on the screen. And afterwards, we'll make sure everybody goes to check out the website. I'll pop that up there real quick.
Okay.
But are you ready for number one?
Yeah.
Okay. Here is number one of 15 questions for you.
All right.
All right.
What is DoomBuggies.com and where did the idea come from?
Yeah, Emma. Well, thanks for asking. DoomBuggies.com is what it is really a website that just celebrates the Haunted Mansion. It's been around, I think 20, almost 24 years. 1997, I started DoomBuggies.
Yeah.
So the early days of the internet. And back then, people were learning how to make websites. Home pages were kind of a new thing, and people were making home pages like, here's my cat, or here's my favorite band, or that kind of thing. And I thought, well, here's my favorite Disneyland attraction, right? And that's how it started. And just it kind of grew quickly. I'm a graphic designer, that's my job, and I think my website kind of looked a little bit closer to what companies were doing at the time, as opposed to just what people were doing in their bedrooms. So I think people caught on and kind of respected it a little bit more. So that's kind of gave me a little jump start, and from that point on, it's just grown and grown and grown.
Like a year older than me.
I was going to say Emma was born in 98, so it's a year older than you. Wow. So you were born into the era of DoomBuggies.com.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. You ready for number two?
Talk about the Haunted Mansion. It carries 50 years old this Friday.
50 years old?
In
Disney World.
In Disney World.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely it is. That's I keep forgetting that, right? Because I count Haunted Mansion birthdays by Disneyland years.
Yeah.
And so when people say Haunted Mansion's 50, I say, like, it really just was. Oh yeah. Here we are. Here we are already.
I was born the year it opened in Disneyland, so it's easy for me to remember.
All right. Yeah. I'm a 68er, so we're right in there.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Here's number two.
Among all of the attractions in the Disney parks, what makes the Haunted Mansion attraction so loved?
Oh boy, if I knew the answer to that, I could sell it to Disney and make $1 million probably, because they're trying to figure that out too. You might notice there are no other attractions from any Disney park that have all the merchandise, all the things that the Haunted Mansion has. There's a store just for the Haunted Mansion. There's stuff everywhere, right? So everyone loves the Haunted Mansion, and it's a great question. So I have been doing DoomBuggies for 2 decades, so I should know, a little bit about this, and I kind of do. I think part of it is that it appeals to different kinds of demographics. Like the spooky part of it appeals to people that like Halloween and spooky stuff. It's got lots of special effects, so that appeals to like people that like movies and mysterious things and science. It's very dramatic in the humor and the scary, how they mix. So theater, people that like acting in theater like that. And then of course it's just a Disney ride, so all the Disney fans just love it, right? And then it has a lot of history. It's a really interesting attraction that spanned like some Walt Disney era and then some after Walt Disney passed away. So it's very historically interesting, right? So all those things, and it has Paul Frees, which probably you would love especially. So all those things together, there's something for everyone, and I think that's kind of what makes it so loved. But to be honest, like I don't have a good simple answer for that, and I wish I did, because people ask me a lot, like, why does everyone love this ride so much more than anything else? It just hits a lot of bases, I guess.
Yeah, it does.
Well,
Yeah, and I think it's probably one of the most anticipated in history too, because it sat in Disneyland, waiting to be open for years.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's got to be one of the big parts of its history. The fact that they started it, and somehow Walt Green lit the building, the facade. I don't know that he would have if he kind of knew what was going to happen. I don't know that he would have left something sitting there for so long, but it did kind of play into the mystique of it, right?
Oh,
but but they built that thing without really knowing what was going to go in it. I suspect they were close. I think Walt and Ken Anderson kind of had worked out something that he thought would work, but people weren't sure. Then they went to do all this World's Fair stuff, and when they got back, I think Walt was busy planning prototype communities of tomorrow and big plans, and he kind of, Disneyland was a little bit on the back burner for a little bit, and then he passed away. So all that time, what are people going to say for 6 years of seeing a building that's not open yet? People started saying,
rough.
And people made up their own reasons it didn't open. Like, well, someone died in there. They can't open it because there's real ghosts in there, or it's too scary. Like, Walt won't let them open it because it's way too scary. They have to tone it down. Like, things like that people were saying, right? And so that just adds to the mystery. Yeah.
Well, one of the things you hit on too, I think, is the mix. Emma's talked about this a lot of times in the past, is the mix of the scary, the spooky, and then the funny. So it does, even in within a family, it'll hit on people that like one thing versus another, so everybody enjoys it together.
Yeah.
Just like the hot movie with Eddie Murphy.
Oh, Emma's a fan of the movie with Eddie Murphy.
Well, you're the perfect. So this is actually a great thing you're saying, because when that movie came out, the Doombuggies people, we went out to the set and we visited it, and we visited the director and Rob Minkoff, and he kind of or Don Hahn, the producer, walked us through the sets. And so, Haunted Mansion fans had this great anticipation that it was going to be this weird, spooky thing, right? And if we're being honest, the Haunted Mansion is spooky, but it's really tempered with funny things, right? There's a lot of funny in it. So the movie is a fair representation, I think, of the funny and the spooky. But Haunted Mansion fans that are my age, we're all kind of grumbly about the movie. We're like, that's not, it's Eddie Murphy. It's not that great. But Haunted Mansion fans like you that grew up with, around the millennial age and the Generation Y age, love it. Like, still love it, because it was your childhood spooky movie, right? Like, mine was Poltergeist. So
gosh, you're right about that one.
And theirs is the Haunted Mansion, right? So it has, again, it was targeted to be more of a comedy for, and a little gentler, so kids could watch it and be spooked but not terrified, right? And so they love it. So that's, I'm glad you brought that up.
There you go.
Oh, bonus question though.
Bonus question.
Yeah.
Okay. What is it?
What do you think of the not remake, but a remade version of the new Haunted Mansion movie?
Oh, there's supposed to be one being made now?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They've announced the casting. Who's in it? Owen Wilson and all kinds of
Owen Wilson.
Interesting casting. Emma, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I will say that there's always going to be people that kind of wish the Haunted Mansion was like a normal haunted house, spooky, scary. I doubt Disney will ever make this really horrible, scary movie for it. So I presume it will be similar in tone to the Eddie Murphy one in terms of spooky but funny at the same time. So I don't know. I mean, I'm really looking forward to it. Same thing with the Muppets coming out. That came out, I guess, when we're listening to this, it came out already. But I'm really looking forward to that, even though it's a little spooky, but also really silly, obviously, Muppets, right? So anything Disney does with the Haunted Mansion, I think they're more careful than people suspect. And I think they know, the diehard Haunted Mansion fans might wish it was scarier, but overall, people are just going to love laughing a little bit, at something a little spooky. So, yeah.
That's a really good one. Good question.
The good news came back to Honey the Muppet.
The good news is they managed to add what?
Honey.
Oh, Hatbox Ghost.
Honey.
Yeah, she had her jar.
Honey.
Yep.
Okay,
Hatbox.
we got it.
I'm sure he'll be in. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I'm excited though. All these things.
It was interesting the choice of Fozzie Bear for a Hatbox.
Yeah, and we'll see what they do with that. Like,
Oh goodness, yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry, we're talking a little in advance, but I'm really looking
No,
forward
that's
to the
good.
Muppets.
That's awesome. All right, you ready for number 3?
Yeah.
All right, let's keep on track.
What is your first memory of the Haunted Mansion, which is our favorite version today?
Oh, which is your favorite version?
Oh.
There you go.
Oh, I didn't think of yours.
There you go.
Okay. I didn't know it was my hour.
You're good.
That's
Which
okay.
is our favorite? Guess.
I'm hoping it's Disneyland because that's my favorite.
There you go.
My first memory actually is the record. So this was before your time, Emma, when we had these black things made out of vinyl and a needle would scratch it. Yeah. And it would make music. Yeah. And so all my childhood, I had this record of the Haunted Mansion. I broke it a few times and my parents would keep buying it. So they must have known, like, I really loved this record. I at the time don't remember like begging them for another one. I just always loved that record. I would trace the pictures. I just listened to it over and over. And it wasn't, I'm sorry, Emma, it wasn't Paul Frees on the record. It was a man named Pete Renaday, who actually is Henry the Bear. So maybe that's okay. Yeah. He's the voice of Henry Bear.
From Country Bear?
From Country Bears.
Yeah.
But he's the ghost host on the record. And that's who I grew up thinking of as the ghost host, Pete Renaday. So I would hear him like, when ninjas creak in doorless chambers. And, I just grew up with that. So my first memory is that this record, I don't even remember not having it, when I was young. It was before my memory we had that. And so that's how I got to know the Haunted Mansion before I ever went on it as a ride. And that's also why I didn't even go on that ride until I was probably 11 or 12, maybe. Oh. I was just scared. Like, I knew what was in there because I had the record and I didn't want to meet those things. Like, I didn't want to see ghosts and everything. Like, it, even in the record, like, it was kind of, the record wasn't really funny at all. It was mostly just, look at all these ghosts. Like, they looked like they were having a good time, but they weren't joking around. You know what I mean? It was like, then there's this Hatbox ghost, then there's a gride with a heartbeat, and then there's these ghosts in the graveyard. And it was just kind of like, I really loved the story and the atmosphere and everything. I just didn't want to meet them in real life. Right. So that's kind of my story of how I came into the Haunted Mansion.
I don't think you've ever heard that. We may have to try to find a recording of that or something.
Wait, didn't this have 2 teenagers that were walking?
Yeah, she's heard it. Yeah,
maybe you have heard it.
Yeah, Ronnie Howard is one of them.
Disney did one.
Oh, offhand Disney might have done something with it.
Yeah. 2 teenagers going off on a date, right? And actually, it was Ron Howard who was in Happy Days. That's before your time, also.
Oh, he's a director.
But he directed Solo. So the director of Solo was one of those teenagers, and then the other teenager was actually a woman named what's her name? No, Roby, but she was not really a teenager. So I actually got to talk to her. She passed away, but I did get to talk to her once before, many years ago. And she said, yeah, Ron Howard was a little bit of a showboat. Like, he was a little kid, but he was like older than Opie, not quite, in Happy Days yet, but he was kind of, he knew he was, a big deal.
That's cool. So your favorite, I guess, is then the one in Disneyland.
Disneyland. Yep. Disneyland.
That's cool.
One in the elevator.
Yeah, we went there for the first and only time so far in 2019.
It was before the refurbishment happened.
Yeah.
The old painting.
Yeah. Now we got to see it. We went in October. Yeah. I think it was October of 2019. So the overlay was there. So we didn't get to see the original.
Yeah.
And that's one of the regrets she has. She wanted to see, or hear Paul Frees, right? So she wanted to go. We're gonna have to go back and see it when it's doesn't have the Christmas overlay.
But they want the Halloween weekend put on Hattie.
Oh, you did like the holiday thing you put on Hattie?
The holly on Hattie's hat, the holly necklace on Hattie's hat. Yeah. I mean, what are they gonna do? They're not gonna hide him. Like, a lot of the ghosts they hide, but they know the Hatbox ghosts, like, even still people are coming just to see that. Right.
Oh, yeah.
So they weren't going to hide it in the Haunted Mansion holiday. Yeah. Because it's still, even though everything's different, people might have been coming to see the Hatbox Ghost. So they're like, okay, we got to leave him out. We'll just put some holly on his hat.
It was very different though, because I'd always seen online of where you walk more. There's more the hallway you walk down versus ride down. So it was really neat. I think that, to me, what we found, I guess, overall with Disneyland, I know you would agree, is that a lot of the better versions of the attractions are in Disneyland, I think.
Yeah.
And I grew up going to Disney World, and she's been to Disney World probably 20-something times.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
something's different there,
Yeah, and I don't know. I will say this about the Haunted Mansion in Disney World. When they enhanced it, I don't know if it was maybe 10 years ago now or more, but they did, when they added the graveyard in front with all the things. They did something to the stretching gallery that is, I love the way they put speakers like in a circle around that whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
So when you listen to the ghost host, he like flits around the room. Like Disneyland still has him here, then here, then here. I do like the new soundtrack for that room that you have at Walt Disney World with all the bats and wind. Like there's a lot more sound going on in there, and it's really cool. But I do still kind of like Disneyland's Haunted Mansion the best. So
yeah, it's really neat.
But they did add lighting to the scrim so you can see
the lighting to the scrim so you can see what?
the hanging
the hanging-
man.
oh yeah.
But we all know it's probably a dummy that you can
Yes,
use.
it's a dummy. It's not a real person.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I remember when they added the Escher stairwell.
Yeah.
I think it used to be spiders, I believe, before that.
Oh,
yeah.
fireworks?
Yeah.
It was a long time ago. But you probably remember too. It was in your lifetime. Depends on how early you went though. So I don't know what age you actually went the first time. That would be something different to see Haunted Mansion anyway.
Wait, we did Rock World 4, right?
No, I don't think
I thought
so.
we did, because Mom said
Okay, well
different.
maybe we did, but you probably weren't a big fan because you like Pooh Bear at the age 4. So, all right, let's go to, speaking of 4,
Yeah.
question number 4.
Haunted Mansion fans like to collect things. What Haunted Mansion collectibles are your favorite?
Oh boy, Emma. I have so I am, my main Disney fandom is collecting. Like, so everyone comes into being a Disney fan in different ways. Some people like characters, some people like the history. I like the history and collecting, Disneyana, right? So boy, the Haunted Mansion has a big giant space in my collection. I think my favorite things are the old things that were just really cheap things that they thought no one would save. Like I have this cardboard picture of a face, and it's just a drawing of a man's face, but it also has glow in the dark painted on it, like a little monster face. And so when you turn out the lights, like you see the little monster face glowing there.
Yeah.
Like it was probably a couple bucks, it was but that was their Haunted Mansion changing portraits that they would sell. I like that. It's really cool. And they used to sell little tombstones, outside where you could put your name on it. The cast members would rub your name on it, and little plaster tombstones. They sold those for probably 5 or 6 years after the Haunted Mansion opened. And I used to, I've had a couple of those over my life and ruined them and broken them before I really was a collector, But now I have a couple of those in my collection, and I take care of them because they're really old and special. But yeah, I mean, I have a bunch of Haunted Mansion stuff, and I love all of it for different reasons, but those are 2 things that come
there
to
you
mind.
go. Those are pretty cool, huh? What are you thinking?
Mm.
Oh, well, you want to go get something?
Yeah, let me see.
Quick. Yeah. It's okay. Are you coming back soon? Okay, you can just sit that
I'm excited to see this stuff.
It's
Oh, it
okay.
looks like
sit it wherever you want.
Looks like Funko.
There you go. Yeah. One more. We tend to pick things up, or Mom and I pick things up and have for different holidays and stuff. So we've got a couple things she doesn't know about yet that are squirreled away for later this year.
Ooh, that's not. That's
but this
exciting.
is what she knows so far, I guess.
Let's
so
see what
she
you got.
has
The Funko set. I love that
blue.
set.
The blue.
Yeah.
What are they? Blue metallic, I guess. Huh?
Yeah.
They're chrome.
Chrome. I'm sorry. Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's awesome.
And then you have the the jar.
They didn't do Hattie though.
We picked that up in Disneyland, if I remember right.
Oh, yep. Which one is it? Hatbox? Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? They're still selling that. Even last week I went. They're still selling the Hatbox Ghost Jar. The rest of them, I don't know how much it is. I
It's probably not that much. All right.
But that's awesome. I like your collection. Yeah.
One of the things she got for her graduation from school last year.
A new kind from American Hugo.
Yeah, she has some Haunted Mansion tennis shoes from Run Disney.
And they glow in the dark.
That we find, yeah, they glow in the dark. They have the wallpaper pattern on them.
You know what? My fiance has those same shoes. Are they purple with the little faces and they glow in the dark?
Yeah, no, don't worry about that.
Those are awesome.
Yeah, those are cool. And then what was the other one? Your purse.
Yeah.
So for her graduation, she got the 50th Dooney and Burke little like a crossbody bag. Because that's this kind of size purse she likes. So that's her daily driver purse.
Yep.
She loves that one. So you can kind of get caught up in that, huh? But he seems to like, and that's really cool. He likes some of the stuff that would be more rare and are things that are, things that people maybe not always kept. So that's probably why they're more rare, right?
Did you see the Blueback Parade at California Getler on YouTube?
Oh, I haven't watched it on YouTube. I'm going to be actually going to Oogie Boogie Bash in a couple weeks here. So, I'm hoping to see it in real. I don't want it spoiled. So.
Oh, yeah. So, he's going to go and just enjoy it. Yeah, that's cool.
I'm not going to Haunted Mansion.
Well, of course.
I know.
No spoilers.
Spoiler alert for people who haven't seen it yet.
All right. Well, here, I put 5 up to keep you moving. There you go.
Ooh. Now we're going down rabbit hole.
That's right.
It's okay.
Go ahead.
Being such a huge fan of the Haunted Mansion and living in California, have you had the opportunity
there you go.
to meet Bob Gurr, creator of the Army Movers?
Wow. Yes, I have. I've actually met Bob Gurr a number of times. It's kind of funny. He sometimes will look at me and I think he kind of recognizes me, but he doesn't know me, which is always kind of interesting. Like as a fan, to be honest, I'm a very shy person. So I don't do a lot of getting to, how do I say this? Like I get intimidated, right, by people that I admire. And so I've met him. I've met him quite a few times, and we've talked, and I've interviewed him many times. So he probably knows Doombuggies now, right? But yes, I have been able to talk to him actually about making the Omnimovers, and he has a lot of good stories about that. He designed them by looking at an apple, a candy apple. Someone was eating a candy apple and it had he was spinning it around on a stick, right? And he looked at it and he's like, oh, what if we had a car that the part of it that moved was just the stick so that the rest of it could just spin around? And that's how he came up with the idea for the Doombuggy. I mean, first it was in Adventure Through Inner Space, but that's how he came up with the idea of these cars that just kind of, because if you're on tracks, it's hard to, make something keep looking all over the place. But if it's just one stick that's moving and the car on top can spin around, that changes the whole story, right? And so, I've talked to him a few times, and he's really interesting, funny guy. Yeah.
I think it makes it more, the design of it makes it more enjoyable for the whole attraction, because you're not looking side to side to see what you're missing. It's really pointing you where they think you need to be looking for the story.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
it's kind of like
amazing.
A movie. Yeah.
So Emma has a couple of posters that he put out that she has signed to her on the wall. Yeah, they're in the dark back there.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But it really is cool. So that's really neat. So he actually met.
with one of them.
That's right.
Yeah.
So he's actually met Bob Gurr. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So now you know someone who has met Bob Gurr. It's not 6 degrees.
And now you've down to 2 degrees.
That's right.
Where we actually contact a lady who played Conker Hathaway in the newer version.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You're trying to get her to
Cat-
for an interview one
Cat-
day. That would be
Cat-
cool.
But
Yeah.
it's kind of busy right now.
Yeah.
Cat, yeah. Cat's still a working girl. So I should call her that. I mean, she's a working professional.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So she has a lot going on. Yeah. But yeah, I've spoken with her before too.
Emma had not long ago. She spoke with Mark Silverman, who did the Tower of Terror.
Mm-hmm.
She met him when we were in California, when we were in LA for that visit to Disneyland. We went to Walt's barn, and he was there, just kind of hanging out.
Awesome.
So
it's in the book.
no, that's okay. Yeah, but it's not like show and tell tonight. We're gonna you have an interview to do. Emma just wants to visit. That's all.
That's okay.
And that would be fun. But let's go through your questions, then you can visit. All right. So you got that was number 5. Okay, so you're on to number 6.
Well,
there you go.
the history of the Haunted Mansion is fascinating.
There you go.
I
Good
get it
job.
right?
You said
did.
it.
Okay. What part of the history surprised you the most when you learned about them?
Yeah. Well, so this is what I kind of like about what I've learned about you, Emma. I know that you are a big history, like Disney history person, particularly Walt Disney, right? And so I think the big picture of the Haunted Mansion, what I most like is that it kind of shows how Walt worked in a way. Like it started with him working with one guy, Ken Anderson, and them going back and forth. And then it went to Walt saying like, well, okay, this isn't exactly what I have in mind. So let's have kind of a team of people just start working on stuff. So he had Yale Gracie and Rolly Crump start working on special effects, right? And things like that. And he had, so he was broadening it a little bit, but also Walt was getting busy with other things, right? Like I said, the World's Fair came up and he thought like, let's do that, So then he passed away, right? So then it has this moment where no one knew what to do with the Haunted Mansion. Like Walt never said it's going to be funny or it's going to be scary. Like he had people working on both of those things, right? So that's why, they had to figure out, how do we continue, and in a small way, it's like, how do we continue this ride? But in a big way, it's how do we continue being Imagineers working on Walt Disney's specific park that he said yes and no to everything? What do we do now without Walt Disney there? So I feel like the history of the Haunted Mansion, covering all of that, that's in a big picture, the fascinating thing about that attraction to me. And then in little ways, like there's lots of little things that I find interesting. Like at first it was going to be, not at very first. I think at first Walt thought maybe it'll be an old house off Main Street or something like that. But he kind of settled on with Ken Anderson, well, let's put it near the Pirates of the Caribbean and let's have it be part of the Pirates Square, like part of New Orleans Square, right? And there'll be the pirate thing. You'll walk through this dungeon, you'll see all these scary pirates and you'll come out. And then there'll be this house down the street and you can go in there and then it'll be the home of one of those pirates. And the story unveils where he was a murderer, right? He was a killer, right? So I think that's interesting to me, like how to imagine how that could have played out. And some of those little ideas made it all the way into the Haunted Mansion. Not many of them, but the idea of a bride, so I just think it's interesting. All the little, like you talk about rabbit trails, like there's 100 million rabbit trails associated with the Haunted Mansion, right? And you can follow all these different avenues. But I think the big picture, just how Walt handled it and then how the Imagineers handled it without him, that's what makes it interesting to me.
One of the things that she talked to Ron Schneider, that was the Dreamfinder a while back, and we have a question later on that we'll ask you, but so I won't give away the question. But one of the things that he was pointing out about Walt, and we had a little bit of a conversation about, was the fact that he had these amazing people he worked with, and he had some definite ideas, but he just kind of let them go and then went on to something else. How do you trust someone with something that's that important to you? Yet he seemed to, he said it was not easy to work with, but at the same time, he had to trust these people immensely, or he wouldn't have gotten the results that he did.
Yeah. Yeah, I've heard similar things, and obviously I'm way too young to have known anyone that even knew Walt, but the fact that he could a lot of things he just had an intuition about, like how to put the right people together to work on things, even if they didn't see eye to eye, lots of that kind of thing. So
yeah, that's cool. Does that work for you?
Well, actually, we know a nice lady who is the director of the Walt Disney Hometown Museum in McGurley.
In Marceline. Yeah, Kay Mallon.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. She talked to
Kay.
Yeah. About it. So so you've spoken to someone who
knew Walt, or at least knows of.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And also, it looks like he lived in his old house.
Sounds like she might live in his old house. Yeah, that's pretty cool, huh? Yeah. All righty. Let's see. Here we go. Number 7.
Well, a lot of the history of the Haunted Mansion is
chronicled.
Yeah. On Doombuggies. What else is available for fans to read and enjoy on the website?
Wow. Thanks for asking that question. This sounds like a little ad for Doombuggies, so I'll be glad to tell you. Yes. And the key, I will say the key is the history, right? That's kind of my main point, is to just keep learning about the Haunted Mansion. Every time I learn something new, I'll just throw it in there and update the website. But there's all kinds of things. Like I have lots of articles from things that I've been able to collect over the past 20 years that are on there. There is there's features about things associated with the Haunted Mansion. So there's a whole section on the movie that we were talking about with Eddie Murphy. There's a whole section on the Haunted Mansion holiday that you were able to go to a couple years ago. There's sections on special events that have happened about the Haunted Mansion, like art events and things. So people can read, like, not just the history of the attraction, but the history of the fandom of the Haunted Mansion. And I think people kind of like to see both sides of that. They like to learn about the ride, but then they like to learn about how Disney has celebrated it over the years. There's lots of videos of just like old clips from television shows and little bits of like ride through things, and just a lot of just lots of little video clips, just of almost, there's so many things the Haunted Mansion has touched on, like music videos and history videos and little interviews and things like that. A lot of that. So yeah, there's a lot of
cool stuff.
Everything. Yeah.
What I remember from years ago was the wallpapers for the computers.
Yeah.
Again, that was, nowadays technology, but back then that was really cool.
Yeah, I that was one of my big things. Yeah, and I mean, like you said, nowadays anything you find online, you just click, make this my wallpaper. So it's a little bit less of an issue. But I do try to collect stuff. So I think there's probably some of the old Disney like official wallpapers on there that I saved. Oh, you might hear a train go by. I'm sorry about this. Well, maybe you'll hear it, maybe you won't. There's a train.
Got one close to us too, so no problem. It might be the same train. It seems like it sometimes. That long. Oh, goodness. That's cool. All right, you ready for number 8?
Yeah.
All right, there you go.
Apart from the website, you also written a book called The Unauthorized Story of Walt Disney Haunted Mansion.
It sounds like the one behind our house.
Here it comes.
All right. Tell us about the book. There you go.
Sorry about the train. Oh, it's right here. Okay. So the book, The Unauthorized Story of the Haunted Mansion. Thank you. All the advertising you're doing for me for free. I appreciate it.
Well, we got one on order for her. So.
Oh, well, that's super. Yeah, I'll tell you about it. So basically, for many years, so once I started Doombuggies, then I started to talk about the Haunted Mansion at like monster conventions and that kind of thing, comic conventions and stuff. And I finally decided after a couple of years, I should have some kind of like souvenir thing that people can like remember, So I made this little book. It was like 5,000 words, a history. Oh, I should say this. Also, I had a couple magazines that asked me, like, can you write us an article about the Haunted Mansion? And I said, sure. So I had a couple articles I had written, some pictures I'd collected for years, right? And I put together this little simple book that was mostly a picture book, but it had like 5,000 word history, so like a term paper's worth of history in it, right? And that was that. I sold that for a while, and then a couple years, like 6 years ago, I guess. So that was maybe 15 years ago. Then 10 years go by, 8 years go by, and I decided someone, I was waiting for a Haunted Mansion history book to come out, and Disney has one by Jason Sorrell, which he's a friend of mine, and it's a really good book, like a super book. But Disney has limited it to a kind of a smallish book, and he had to get lots of pictures in there because that's what people really want to see, pictures. So he has said to me, a couple times, like, man, I wish I could have written more, but it is what it is. So I figured I'm just going to write the history of the Haunted Mansion. So this is kind of the main key. I didn't really know how to start, but about 6 years ago, I was able to go talk to Rolly Crump. He's an Imagineer who worked on the Haunted Mansion. And I was able to just go visit him for an afternoon and just sit down and talk. Like, let's just talk about the Haunted Mansion, right? So, because he has a lot of stories he just tells over and over again, but I wanted to try to ask him a few more things. So we sat and we talked about the Haunted Mansion for a long time. And that kind of was what I needed to figure out how to make this book into a story. So using Rolly Crump's history as a guide, I put all the stuff I'd already written together. I put that in there. I put Rolly Crump's information in there. I started doing research, looked for every little bit of Haunted Mansion information that I could find, and just started compiling the history story. And once it was about 50,000 words, I stopped and said, "Here's a book." And that's what it is. So that's how it happened.
Yeah, that's gonna be cool.
I hope you like it.
There's going to be a lot of stories in there you're going to enjoy.
Anyway, thank you so much for letting my dad use your picture.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for letting me use your picture. That was an awesome photo. I created that little placeholder thumbnail, and I said, it's just the most awesome thing I've seen. I wish I knew how to do something that good. But I definitely don't. All righty. You ready for number 9?
Fun fact.
Uh-oh.
Do you know who else knows Rolly Crump?
Who else knows Rolly Crump?
Offhand Disney.
Oh, the guy. What's his Dallin? Offhand Disney?
Yeah.
Emma will watch anything and everything that she can on YouTube about Disney, but especially Haunted Mansion.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So,
I think me and him are the same age.
I think you might be.
Yeah.
I think you might be. Yeah. All righty.
I know you use a green screen because you can use that.
Yeah, we used to use one too. All right, here's number 9.
I was hoping that the hot box girl would be added to the Legendary Buggy of Walt Disney World, by the way.
That's right.
Haunted Mansion for the 50th, but it doesn't look like it will be.
Still, probably not, huh?
That's why we made that Patreon thing.
Yeah, Emma she started a petition on change.org, and it I don't think. But anyway, do you think
they will ever add him to Florida?
Well, okay, Emma, I don't want to burst your bubble. I don't know. I kind of think they will eventually. I doubt it will be for the 50th. Who knows? We'll find out really soon, right? But I suspect they will. But at the same time, like, it's interesting how they decide what to do for one Haunted Mansion and they just never do it for the other. Like, they started the same pretty much, but then they've kind of gone their own separate ways a number of times. Like this big rehaunting they did of your Haunted Mansion, whenever that was, 10 years ago or whatever, more maybe, I don't know. Like some of that stuff we were hoping, like I was saying, the stretching room with all the new advanced sound system, I was hoping that would come to Disneyland. I still am, and I still can't imagine it won't someday, but
yeah,
not yet, right? I was hoping that's what they were doing last year when it was closed, but no. So you just never really know. I think they do like having distinctions between all the Haunted Mansions. And the Hatbox Ghost has a history at Disneyland that it doesn't have at Walt Disney World, right? So it's possible. No, it maybe never will. but I
You can always
give up
go to
on.
Disneyland.
You can always come to
That's right. You can
Disneyland.
always go there to see the original. All right, you ready for number 10?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh,
After
I
this are those other fun questions. So this is the last specific question, I guess, right? Okay.
You also have a podcast called the DoomBuggies Spook Show.
Spooky show, yeah.
Yeah.
Can you tell us how the podcast
Compliments.
the website and everything else that you do?
That's a good question. And to be honest, I kind of am a little backwards in how that works. So I don't know how, to be honest, I don't know if the Doombuggies podcast and the Doombuggies website complement each other well. I try to. Mostly I do that just for people that are really super Haunted Mansion fans that just every month want a little Haunted Mansion spice in their life, right? Yeah. My main Disney hobby these days is podcasting. I don't know if you know, but I have a podcast called Nostalgia also, and that's my main, that takes up most of my time because we do it every week and I edit it. And sometimes I feel like, is there time for anything other than that, right? But the Doombuggies podcast is kind of more of a, of course it's a hobby, but it's more like, I just, there's a few people that listen. I don't know. I haven't even looked lately, compared to the other podcasts, a few. Yeah. But it's it's just, boy, that's really, should be an easier question for me to answer. I just really like to connect with the fans of the Haunted Mansion, and that's one way to do it, right? Doombuggies, the website Doombuggies used to have a message board that was a thriving community, thousands of people, and this was before MySpace and Facebook, right? So then MySpace came around, and still was just kind of didn't really start communities, but Facebook really started communities, and then all these website bulletin boards a lot of them became defunct, right? There still are a few out there, like Mice Chat and those kind of places, but so there wasn't much of a community around Doombuggies anymore. So that's when I decided, well, maybe I can at least start a podcast to at least give people that want to feel tied in with it a little bit more, something they can hear and listen to and be a part of once a month. So that's probably the main reason I started the podcast for Doombuggies. And and we're still going along once a month.
And I think it is a different, we used to do, we lived in South Carolina for a while, and we did a podcast, a regional kind of food show. And it was a lot of work that I don't miss.
Yeah.
But we met some amazing people through doing it. Yeah. We actually got invited to Disney twice, to Disney World, as part of this regional food blogger thing.
Wow. Yeah.
So, it did a lot of good. And what we started with for Emma was going to start as part of a class project, was going to start a podcast. So this was going to be the Talking Mickey podcast. And then we realized, hey, it's not that hard to do video. Let's just do a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And what I keep telling myself is I'm going to take all the audio and I'm going to put it out onto her podcast feed. And I never get around to doing it, but I want to, because there are people that like to listen. And I think you probably see the same, that like to listen at work or like to listen on the road or whatever else. So there is a piece of the audience that maybe doesn't sit down for YouTube.
Yeah.
Or doesn't, surf the web as much as they used to, or don't have time to do all that. So I think it's nice that it's there. I'm sure there's a group of people that really appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, thanks for saying that. And and that's what I'm hoping. We get enough feedback that I feel I have a co-host now named Julia. She helps me with the news, because partly what was keeping me back was I would keep thinking I got to research what's going on, and then I would put that off and put it off, and then more news would happen and more news would happen, and I would just feel lost. So now she kind of every month comes up and she's like, here's what we're to talk about, and then all I have to do is come up with the history part. So
that's nice. That's good.
We're a better team. Yeah. So
all right. Well, the next 5 questions are the last 5, but these are all the kind of what I call the fun, but also kind of challenging questions. So are you ready for those?
Yeah.
I think so. All right. So here's number 11.
If you could have a year supply of any Disney park snack, what would it be?
This is very easy for me to answer. I hope you consider this a snack. I think it is. At Disneyland, in Adventureland, there is a small outdoor vending, or not vending, but an outdoor cafeteria style restaurant called the Bengal Barbecue, where you can get beef on a skewer. And the Banyan beef skewers are spicy. It is the best thing. I would eat those for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for a month. Then I might have to give it a little break, but I would eat those forever. I love that stuff. Every time I go to Disneyland, Banyan beef skewers. So that's easily my answer.
There you go. That is a good answer. What's your favorite again? It seems to change when we talk about it.
Chocolate.
Any kind of chocolate?
That's fair.
Popcorn.
But no mint.
No mint? You don't like mint?
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh, we'll remember that one then. All right. Number 12.
If you could live with any Disney resort or hotel, what one would it be?
Okay, I just got home. Well, not just got home, but in July I went to Alani. So I know that's not a theme park resort, but it still is a Disney resort. That was really nice. I don't know that I'd want to live there though. I would probably choose the Grand Californian here at Disneyland because it has an entrance like right into the middle of DCA, California Adventure. Like you can just walk in and you're in the middle of it. And that's super appealing to me, especially with all the security and lines and stuff at Disneyland that you have to get through. Like to be able to just wake up and, put on your, news and, have a little breakfast and then just walk into Disney, even if it's not Disneyland, awesome. California Adventure, I would probably choose that because of that.
There you go.
I would live in the haunted mansion at Disneyland.
Well, it's not a hotel.
Well,
what resort?
Let's make it into a hotel. They have, but here's the thing: more than at least 2 times they've had radio station in LA has had a contest where the winner gets to spend the night in the Haunted Mansion.
Oh, wow.
They've done that a couple times. So it has been somewhere where people have stayed overnight at least 2 times in its history. So
and there's been something recently on social media about someone who's done an Airbnb that's Haunted Mansion themed.
Yeah, so, that's kind of near Disneyland. I've been thinking it's a little expensive, but I've been thinking about trying that. Well, maybe not if you get a whole group of people because it can sleep a lot of people. So
it's a house, right?
Yeah.
I think it's a whole house. Yeah.
So I've been thinking about that. So
that's pretty.
We'll
cool.
see.
So how could Disney arrange so people who want contact and stay at the Haunted Mansion in Disneyland? Like how can they put furniture in it?
Oh, how do they put furniture in? Where do they sleep? You mean?
Yeah. It was. They had to set it up very, very specially. Yeah. So I'm sure they would not do it as on a regular basis. Yeah. But for a couple Halloween specials, it's been a few years, but I mean, people were like, "Tell us what's happening." It was pretty exciting. Yeah.
That's cool. And I know I've heard that they've done some dinners, I think, in Florida.
They've also they've also done that in Disneyland too. They've had some dinners.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, when they did the 50th, a big overnight I remember the videos. There were the big overnight events where people were there in the middle of the night, and there was I don't know. I guess it was at the hotel. Maybe there was a display and all this special. I think it's when the jars came out, and some.
Oh yeah. I was there.
It was a big event.
I went to that.
So we watched all that stuff. That looked like that would have been fun too.
Yeah.
All right. Here's number 13.
Wait, I thought we were on 12.
Nope, we did resort. This is number 13.
Oh.
Ooh.
If you could build any Disney attraction, you read it.
This might be a gimme.
In your backyard, which one would it be?
Actually, no. So you might think I would say the Haunted Mansion, but no. I actually have plans for this. My fiance and I are building up our tiki mug collection because we fully intend to build like a tiki room type, maybe tiki bar or tiki place in our backyard someday. So that's a definite plan that I have. And you know what, Emma, do you want me to tell you my number one thing that I own that's my favorite Disney collectible? My very favorite Disney collectible is a tiki bird. I have a real tiki bird from the Tiki Room at Disneyland.
Wow.
Is
And
it is it one of the original audio animatronics?
Yep. And you can see, I wish I had it here.
That's cool.
Maybe when we're done recording, if you have a second, I'll show. I do have it here. I'll show it to you. But it's like, that's my very favorite thing. And I got it very fortunately, like someone who owned it, needed to sell it, and it was a whole thing. But that's one of my very favorite things. So Tiki Room is really close to my heart with the Haunted Mansion, because I'm sure you know this, Emma, the very first audio animatronics were the Tiki Birds, right? So that's kind of the history of it, makes it special to me also. So
one of Emma's the most recent or last one or two. Oh yeah, she has the Tiki Bug. We don't have the other one, but we have this one.
You have the no face one, yeah. That's awesome. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, it was one of the most recent trivia things she did was about the Tiki Room, and
right?
I think it was recent, but when this goes out, it'll be a little ways back.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, just there's so much history there with Walt being directly involved in it and what it was intended to be, and there's a lot around that. What people might think is a simple attraction nowadays. Yeah, it's really not.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's cool. Wow, that'd be awesome. We watch. They finally put out a non-alcoholic drink this past week. Spike's Breezeway Cocktail Hour. He's in LA and he's a big Tiki guy. He was in a surf rock band.
Okay.
And then with the COVID thing, he had to do something, so he started this YouTube channel to mix drinks from all these Tiki bars. So he set the whole thing up in his backyard. It's really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And he's friends with Justin Scard.
Oh, he's friends with Justin Scard. Yes.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Yeah.
Emma watches Justin too.
Yep.
All right. So here's number 14. Oh, here's a trivia question for you. When the wait time at the Haunted Mansion is 13 minutes, what does that mean? It's the only one they do that for.
Friday the 13th.
No.
That's a good guess.
It's just a walk-on, right?
Yeah.
At that point, yeah.
It
means there's no wait.
Wait, you don't know what Friday the 13th is?
No, he does, but we're talking about the wait time. Oh, you were hilarious. I love you so much. All right, number 14. Here we go.
Wait a minute, you didn't let me answer the attraction one.
Oh, so you want to answer the attraction?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Haunted Mansion at Disney World. What? Make it a real haunted house. I had it at Paul Freeze to come on it.
So add Hatbox Ghost and Paul Freeze. Okay. Well, I think okay.
That's an amazing fantasy.
Oh my goodness,
that would be something.
I don't know what the connection is she has with Paul Freeze, but it's been for years now. I'm not sure.
He's an amazing guy. So yeah,
it's really something. All right.
Wait. What? Do y'all know what cemetery he's buried in California?
Is it?
Oh, I don't know.
Do you know? Is this a trivia question?
No, this is just a question.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
That really one that I want to go.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. That's a good question, though.
Have to look
it maybe help. Yeah, I don't know.
When we went into Disneyland that day, we went to Walt's barn. We also went to the cemetery to Walt and Lillian's grave, and we went to the Tam O'Shanter, and we went to the carousel. And what else? There was one other thing. I can't remember.
Carowin?
Did you drive by one of his houses, maybe?
No, we didn't do that.
Yeah.
No, I can't remember.
Saw the video though.
Yeah, we did see that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was fun. That was Emma's idea. She wanted to have a day to go out and do that.
Yeah. Well, so Disney History Circle.
Good for that, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So. Awesome. All right, we're almost done though. So here's number 14.
If you could only visit one Disney park in the future, which one could you choose?
Oh boy. Well, I mean, if you mean like you can never go to another park but one again, I would choose Disneyland because that's my home park. That's Walt Disney's home park,
Yeah.
And people say, I don't know, like, people have different opinions of celebrity. Like some
Yeah.
people think like Walt walked here, that's special, and it is special, and that's
Yeah.
kind of why. That's one reason I like Disneyland. Some people don't put a lot of stock in that kind of thing, but you can imagine Walt thinking of this. Like you can look at how tiny and how crushed everything is, and you can imagine someone in 1954 like walking around and saying like, oh yeah, we'll do this over here and this over here, and oh, there's plenty of space, we'll do this and this. And not knowing like that millions of people, like, how could Walt Disney ever imagined how popular Disneyland would get, right? And so they knew by the time Disney World came, so you got lots of space, but Disneyland, like, there's something about it being so tiny and intimate, and Walt Disney walked there. It's just magical. I would have to like stick with Disneyland. I mean, but I've never been on Phantom Manor, so Disneyland Paris is a close second. I'd love to go on Phantom Manor someday.
Yeah, that would be
They
cool.
actually get 2 tributes. One is for Peter.
Who? Vincent Price?
Oh, yeah, thank you.
No, Vincent Price. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
He originally did it.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
And then later on, the America had Captain, which usually won the mold. Won the mold with you for the
one of
Wayfinder.
the animatronic face mold?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you hear in the background going over, it's
Paul Frees, right? Yep.
There's a regular liger in there.
Yep.
His original lines, isn't that something?
Yep. What's he say? Which lines does he use? I know they're like, what does he say? He takes his head off, right?
Yes.
But do you remember what he says? What lines?
What is it? Do you remember?
I'm trying to remember. He says a couple things from the Ghost Host lines. He says,
"Welcome,
Yep. "Welcome, foolish mortals."
There's no turning back.
Yeah.
now.
There's no turning back now.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that's awesome.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that would be cool to go visit, huh?
Yeah.
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 All righty, last question.
Yeah.
This is the one. This is the big one.
Yeah.
You ready? Okay. Number 15.
Wait a minute, you didn't let me echo one part.
You always steal the thunder for the last question. You always want to go back. All right, we know what park. Tell me.
Animal Kingdom.
Okay, we knew.
Okay.
Because it was open around when she was born.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, what a day.
We hear this story every time. Number 15, please. Read the question.
I think I like one. Okay, I'm done.
You better now?
Maybe.
Deep breath. Deep breath. You're good. All right.
Okay. If you could ask Walt Disney one question right now, what will you ask him? And that could include Roy Disney too.
Oh, you can ask
Oh.
Roy too?
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe
That's
2 questions.
Yeah, that's a twist.
Oh,
boy. I think I would ask Walt Disney how he knew what the world wanted in a theme park. Like, how did he know people were waiting for Disneyland? Like, there was no Disneyland, and there were similar parks in Europe. I should say there was a similar place in Europe that he went to a few times. So there was kind of the idea of a nice little amusement park, but there was nothing really like Disneyland. And it seemed like Walt Disney just knew what people wanted, whether it was movies or television, especially, or then Disneyland. Like, he just did things and they became successful. And it couldn't have just been lucky. Like, he somehow had this real sense for America where he was in the mid-century. Like, he just was in touch with it, and he knew what people wanted to spend their time on. And I just kind of wish I knew his magic formula. Now, I suspect there was no answer to that. It's just his skill as a human being, like, in his experience of life. But that's what I would probably want to ask him. Like, how did you know all these things would be so successful? And to be fair, let me say, like, I've been to the Walt Disney Family Museum here in San Francisco. Like, there's 2 museums on either side of the country, right? There's the Hometown Museum and the Family Museum. And they do plenty of explaining that, well, everything Walt didn't succeed. He did lots of things that just flopped and failed, right? So I understand that, but nevertheless, like the things he did that were successful, like were big risks. Disneyland, everyone told him he was crazy to do Disneyland because you're going to spend all this money, go out on all this credit risks, like, and put your studio at risk, basically, to build this amusement park. And everyone was thinking of Coney Island and other theme parks on the beach in Los Angeles. And like, no one's going to, like, what are you doing? And he just knew, like, no, this is going to be different and bigger and better and world changing, right? And so, yeah, I would just ask him about that. I don't know that that question is not very specific, but I would kind of circle around that, I think. What would you ask him, Emma?
Yeah, what would you ask?
Wait, did you get the answer for Roy though?
Oh, Roy. Okay, well, Roy, you know what I would say to Roy? I would say, how did you handle how do I say this? Like, it felt like a lot of times Walt and Roy didn't necessarily agree, but Roy would support Walt Disney. Like, if Walt said, we're going to do this, Roy would say, okay, let's find the money, and he'd figure it out. I mean, he was more of a partner than just the money guy, but, you know, he would have to kind of figure stuff out. And I guess I would say, like, knowing what it's like with me and my sister, or, you know, just siblings in general, I guess I would say, like, how did you deal with this strong personality and always like appear to be so supportive and figuring out the right answers and solving all these problems? Like, Walt would dream, like if Walt can dream it, Roy would have to do it. That should be the quote, because you know, he had to figure that stuff out, and it couldn't have been an easy job. I would probably just ask him something about, like, how did you manage to, you know, solve all those problems? So how about you, Emma? What would you ask Walt and Roy?
I'll ask Walt and Roy first. Can I have a hug? Group hug?
Group hug.
Nicely.
Nicely, yes. You would ask him nicely for a hug. Okay. What else?
And I'll ask Walt, what can you think of Epcot right now? Like,
wow.
What do you think? Like, because Epcot is not going on a way different path than it was originally.
Right. Well,
you guys was going to be a city.
It's a couple of different paths, right? Yeah.
Wow. That's
what they got rid of Gloomy.
Yeah. Emma loved eliminations.
Yeah.
They got rid of Gloomy, which was supposed to be in the
Epcot Forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was the last one last night, right?
Yeah, last night. Yeah. Harmonia supposedly premiered tonight. We haven't seen yet.
But this is for the cast member premium, right?
I don't know.
Oh.
So you would ask him about Epcot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then I'll ask him what the thinking of Animal Kingdom or Hollywood Studios.
Wow.
Okay.
Those are really the best questions about. I was thinking, like, what would you ask Walt about Walt Disney World? Like, you know, because that was kind of way past him, but Epcot wasn't, right? So that's such an amazing question. Like, what do you think? We turned it into a theme park, but does it have any of your vision or any of what you were imagining in it? That's a great question. Boy,
there's an interview we watched the other day. It was with Diane Disney Miller, and I'm trying to remember. I think it was a movie critic or someone. I can't think of the guy's name that was interviewing her, but he asked her if she ever, if her dad ever talked about the things he'd done and what he would change or something like that. And she said he would talk about what he was working on, but never about what he worked on in the past. It's like he was always looking forward to it.
Yeah.
So it makes me wonder. I've always thought, just like Emma's saying, it's like, what do you think about Epcot? But, you know, there's no telling what he would have been working on in the 70s.
Yeah.
You know, once he thought Epcot was on the road, he could have gone in a completely different direction.
Yeah.
But, well, did you have a question? You said you were going to ask Roy? What's that?
How you truly feel about how the Disney company is going toward that you and Walt passed away?
Yeah.
Okay. More practically from the company standpoint, because Roy was the guy that managed the company more day to day, I guess. Huh? Yeah. What do you think about what's happening today and how the company's being run and what they focus on and all that stuff?
Yeah.
It's a really good question, actually.
Yeah, those are all really great questions.
Wow.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm not going to tell Walt what did he bring of the green finder and equipment with the actual mascot of Alki, like what he would think of it.
What he would think of them as characters and the mascots. That's pretty cool.
Oh,
That's
that is
what
a
I
good
have
question.
to
Because he didn't choose his big characters for Disneyland. He chose Jiminy Cricket and Tinkerbell, right? So he might have thought, like, yeah, let's make some little character that could be our mascot, and who knows, he could blow up, you know, like, that's a good question.
The one thing that always, I mean, this is not a deep question, but it's an interesting to me is like, you see these photos, these images of what Mickey and Minnie were when they used those Ice Capades costumes. It's like, one of the questions would be, didn't y'all think you might wanted something better than this before?
What Sunday?
Is that way on the list down there somewhere on the bottom?
What Sunday?
I guess maybe people didn't meet characters before that. Maybe that wasn't a thing. You know?
Mike, I mean, I don't think it was like the big, let's, you know, go run up and hug a soft body type thing, you know, and so, but those are great. Like the evolution of Disney characters is a whole thing that I'm not an expert in, but I wish I was, because it's fascinating, like how they went from representational to this weird period to like kind of cuddly, big, oversized, you know, and it's fascinating.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that is the last question. And you have been talking for over an hour.
Wow.
I need to take my pill.
It's time for you to wind down, huh? Okay. Well, I think it's time to say thank you then.
Thank you, Mr. Jeff.
Bam. There you go.
Yeah, you're welcome. Oh, I'm pleased to have been able to be here.
Well, you got your work not far from California, from the Grand Canyon, right?
We're back, guys. Oh, we launched into talking about the area around where Jeff lived, right? Because he was talking about Grand Californian, and later on he showed us the tiki bird that's in his collection, which to me was amazing.
Yeah,
right?
It was cute.
We didn't put that in the interview, but maybe that's something, if he's okay with, we can show you that clip about the bird later on. But it was a long interview, but this was an amazing interview. So what things about the Haunted Mansion did you learn from listening to our Haunted Mansion expert talk to the Haunted Mansion expert, right? Jeff.
Double Haunted Mansion expert.
That's right. And a week ago we talked to 2 weeks ago. You talked to Kevin Riley of Haunted Mansion Dead and Breakfast. He's another Haunted Mansion expert. Well, the whole Haunted Mansion month, I guess, like we said, is coming to an end tonight for this year, but it was pretty cool. Hey, Caden's on. Caden says, hey, Emma and Mr. Kevin, feels good to be back. I'm really sorry I couldn't join for a while. It's been crazy, but I'm going to be here more. Well, that's awesome. Good to see you again, Caden. It's been a while, but yeah, you're right. It's been a while, but we are glad to see you back. So we do have to say, Emma's typing in the chat. She does have to say thank you to her guest who may still be listening in this drive home from the Walt Disney Family Museum. So what would you say to Mr. Jeff since he may be listening?
Thank you, Mr. Jeff. Is it okay if we can do a small clip of you going on the tiki bird?
Yeah, he'll send us a note. We don't have to do it tonight, but we can maybe put it out as a clip on your channel if it's okay. But we'll find out, okay?
This is just a permission asking you, okay?
That's right. All righty. Well, Em, I think there are a couple of things we wanted to share with you tonight, your mom and I. What happens when, let me do this. What happens when you leave the Haunted Mansion? You're in the Doom Buggy at the very end, and the ghost host says what?
And after we'll follow you home.
And a ghost will follow you home, right? Well, look behind you. The hitchhiking ghosts are behind her.
I'm not going to say it now.
So Emma has the ghost following her home tonight, but that's not it, because we've been saving a couple things. Her mom and I have picked up a couple things, including those from the parks. Those are it's a sipper, a popcorn bucket, and a beignet holder, which we don't have in Florida. This came from Disneyland for her collection. We also
have
found
a few more though. The big one.
Yes, we also found this for your hot chocolate or whatever else you like, because Emma likes drinking hot chocolate. It's a Haunted Mansion cup, and it says, actually, we have 999 happy haunts here, but there's room for 1,000.
Any volunteers?
Any volunteers? And it says what on the bottom of it? Can you tell? I'll put it on the screen.
Oh.
Where is it from?
The Haunted Mansion, the Walt Disney Imagineering.
That's right. This is from the Imagineering store, I believe.
Oh, the one that's gone?
Well, the one that I guess the Imagineers
the cast member thing.
maybe moving, right? But that was from Imagineering as opposed to the park. And the last thing, I have an audio-visual aid to show because it's so small, but there's a reason it's so small. What we have
3D film.
This is an original piece of film from, I can't really see it real well, but this is it right here. This is the actual clip from the singing busts. This little clip right here. And this is from Thurl Ravenscroft while he was singing. So this is a clip from the film that they used at one time in the Haunted Mansion. Isn't that cool?
Well, why are they damage it now?
Well, see what happens. You see how it turned yellow?
Yeah.
The film has to be replaced. They probably use digital now, I would guess. Yeah. But this is probably old film that they didn't need to use anymore. You see how you can kind of see the busts in there?
Yeah.
The frames of the film?
I never did that from Yoda.
So what do you think? Isn't that cool for your collection? It wasn't expensive, but there were little clips out there, and I thought that's just a kind of neat collectible for your collection. Emma's mom says that's cool. No, Emma's mom didn't know about that one, I don't think. And Michael says, Jeff, keep your eyes on the road if you're still driving.
Thank you, Michael.
Oh, goodness. That was great. And don't forget to share, comment, like the video, and support the Talking Mickey Project.
Jonathan, you're on a roll, bud. Thank you.
You're on a roll, and you're awesome. Thank you, Jonathan. So, guys, I guess that's about it. We would, I guess, like to suggest that if you have not done so and you're watching this, please go to talkingmickey.com and subscribe to Emma's channel, or just do it right there on YouTube. We would appreciate it.
We are also now not live streaming on Twitch anymore. We're now going on Twitter, so if you want to tag someone or message someone from my channel to come get out, to tag them to Talking Mickey Credit on Twitter.
That's right. She's now live streaming, like this show right now is going live to Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter.
Look.
So you can tag friends on any of those, and they will be able to see that the show's there.
Yeah.
And I guess you want to do the very last thing and talk about, I'm looking for, there it is, for your Fiesta program.
Yeah. My medal.
So you want to talk about what that is?
This is my official Talking Mickey Profit Medal for Fiesta International 2022.
That's right.
The medals are not in yet, so please take it with that, guys.
It's just pre-order right now, pre-sale. And they are Fiesta medals. So if you know anything about Fiesta in San Antonio, it's sort of like Mardi Gras, but every organization does big fancy events, fun events, parties, parades, and things like that. And the big tradition is to use medals, sort of like a military medal, like you can see somewhere there. I can't get my fingers to point in the right place. There. And these will be double-sided. So on one side, you'll see it has the silent mouse logo. It says Emma Barron Fiesta Especial 2022. She's running for the Royal Court. It has the metal bar at the top that says Talking Mickey Project. And on the back of the medal, it's double-sided, which is pretty rare. It actually has a QR code that will take you to the page on her website, talkingmickey.com/fiesta.
We are also now making buttons.
That's right. But the page will tell you all about Disability SA and Fact Institute. So every dollar that Emma raises from the medals will go to benefit Disability SA here in San Antonio and Fact Institute, which is the program Emma attends. So I guess that's it. Oh, wow. We got a bunch of comments all of a sudden. Yep. Thank you, Jonathan. You got it. Miss Bridget says, good night, Emma. Love you. Emma's mom says, happy Halloween. Stay safe. Trick-or-treating. Look at all the candy in there. We don't even have that much candy in the house.
Yeah. And I put a comment recently way up there in the FYI about Halloween.
Oh, okay.
About trick-or-treating tonight.
Oh, there you go. All right. Michael says, let the force be with you and filled with candy.
Hopefully it carries Michael.
Thumbs up.
Oh,
goodness. That's right. So again, all proceeds benefit Emma's campaign. You can go to talkingmickey.com/fiesta. And I think that's it, Em. Are you ready to say goodnight? I know, but you got to focus on who's visiting with you.
Mom's still on there though.
There we go. All right. So you want to thank everybody and we'll say goodnight?
Thank you, everyone. Come on, say good night, subscribe, and share this channel with your family and friends if you have not before. If you're on Facebook, put a hashtag, tag a friend. If you want,
tag a friend on Facebook.
I don't know why the sharing thing doesn't work on there sometimes, but it must be a bug with Facebook.
It's okay.
As always, guys, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you next Wednesday for
Give Kids the World.
For the Give Kids the World
And Saturday
interview, and for Friday's interview with Make-A-Wish with McGill Dinner.
That's right. There's some great shows coming this week, guys. So stay tuned and subscribe.
Again, these folks are also pre-recorded.
Yes, pre-recorded
interviews. We're just streaming them live.
Okay.
So please bear with us.
No, it's going to be great. They're really good interviews.
Yeah.
That it?
Yeah.
So we will see you.
Real good. Night day.
Good night, everybody.
Wednesday.
Thank you for being here.
Work.
See you soon.
Yeah.